Carey, who many say is the best player in the competition, and he's just a colossus of the game, no doubt about that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Drew. He certainly is a great player, and he's one player that can really change a game. But this North Melbourne team, they've been very settled for most of the year. I think the cornerstone to the reason why they're...
Last home and away game at Waverley.
Feel maybe that might be used as some motivation for these players to get across the line today. Of course, in round 5...
Scott McLaren, John Harvey and Jamie Love. And there's Scott McLaren in midfield, about to get us underway. According to the flags, the breeze is right to left, and the Saints, after Nathan Burke won the toss, will go with it. Bit of shouldering going on just to right of screen here at centre half back. Zilla and Grant into it. So plenty at stake, and the Saints have come out on fire. So Spider Everett, number 10, goes up in ruck for the Saints. The ball comes to ground level, taken away by Andrew Thompson. His hand pass back, and the Saints first into attack. And the kick forward coming up there from Knowles. Up towards half forward, chopped off by the veteran Blakey. Away he goes with his hand pass to Simpson. Wide. Everett got forward after the centre bounce. Should have taken that mark. Clayton for the Kangaroos. Draws a man. Out to Capuano. His kick over centre wing. Saints have the numbers here. Wakelin in front of Carey. And it looks like the big job today for Shane Wakelin, one of the twins, on King Carey.
Barry Hall being picked up by Mighty Mick Martin. Two of the toughest players in the game. Currently 10 degrees. We expect a maximum of 13. The sun was out a few moments ago. McKernan, some pushing and shoving. I thought he gave away the free kick there to Darryl Wakelin. It wasn't paid. Young, tied up on the boundary line, squeezed from half-back, just tumbles the ball back towards the centre wing. There's courageous play by Simpson. He's been averaging 21 possessions this year. He's been a big winner for North Melbourne. Here comes Thompson to the half-forward line. Out in front is Stewie Lowe. Can't get there. Keeping the ball alive. Mighty Mick takes his time. Cool under pressure, back to Blakey. If they can play 4 finals, he'll play his 300th in the grand final. Taken away by Bell, goes short, finds Stevens. Game number 201 today. Comes away from half-back. The kick is half smothered inside the centre square. Needing a bounce was Carey. Flicked it out to Allison. Great play. Allison runs to 50. He's off target. It's going to bounce towards the forward pocket. And coming on and taking the ball is Knowles.
Very poor kick by Allison. Shane Wakelin takes the mark at half-back. The Saints have come to play. Off to Robert Harvey, who had 45 possessions last week. Tony Francis, he centres the ball. Oh, Saints proactive. That's terrific play by Joey McLaren. An aid of a shepherd. He kicks for goal and gets the first score.
Well, there's no doubt, Drew, the Saints have come to play. Their body language in the contest is just the start that Timmy Watson would like to see from his players. They're committed at the contest. They're really attacking the footy, and this is a terrific passage of play. Good calculated risk here by Francis to change direction. Looked dangerous, but McLaren jumped early, got his body in front of his opponent, kept his balance, ran hard towards the goal and drilled it. That is a terrific start for St Kilda's point of view.
First blood to the Saints. McLaren has booted 19 goals for the season. The kick from Francis wasn't spot on. McLaren made the most of it. Here's Francis again with a touch of the fumbles. Everett thought he had it and lost it. Clayton goes to ground. They'll pile on top. Ball up. Still inside the centre square. Just the 2 wins for St Kilda in the past 9 games. Defeating Richmond and Melbourne. Both sides outside the top 8. Everett against Capuano, giving first touch of the ball. Kicked off the ground by McLaren. There's a chance for Blakey. Out in front, he was pushed off the line of the ball that time by big, bad, bustling Barry Hall. Goes short, he was looking for Thompson. Great play by King. Back to Francis, stands and delivers. Long bomb. This is close. Through for one behind.
And some interesting matchups also, KB, in St Kilda's forward line. Martin is now picking up Stuart Lowe. McCartney's got the job on Hall, and also Archer's picking up Heatley.
This is Clayton, son of the umpire. From left half back up towards centre wing. Punch forward by Darryl Wakelin. It goes to Burke. Terrific play by Nathan Burke. It was too slick for Young, his teammate. Back to Zilla. Kick by Zilla to the attacking 50. And a terrific mark by Simpson over the top. Great start here by the Saints. Simpson goes wide, and Peckett has it. He's playing a loose man for the Kangaroos, and Knowles, similar role for the Saints. Loose man in defence. A juggle by McKernan, and the mark taken just before centre wing. Kangaroos still looking for their first score. The ball was knocked down by Young. It comes to midfield. Hesitation here. Abraham, the hand pass away to Simpson. His kick inside half forward. Guess who? Carey plays on, and surely he'll kick the first goal for the Kangaroos. Great stuff.
Yeah, terrific awareness there by Carey. Typical play there from the Kangaroos to get the ball in quickly. Simpson just got the ball forward. Good play there, good composure there by Abrahams, who was on his knees to give the ball to his teammate in Simpson. But Carey realised that he could mark the footy and also play on, very similar to the McLaren goal. Good awareness of what was going on around him and kicked accurately for goal to equal the challenge of St Kilda.
Dennis Pagan on screen, already on the phone. Saints by a point. 54 goals for the season to Wayne Carey Everett. Again, down to the running machine in Harvey. Just pumps the ball to the half-forward line and finds Barry Hall. He's shooting from 50. He's been the key to the forward line this year for the Saints. He's booted 41 goals for the season. The young man from Broadford will stand and deliver from right on 50. Unloads. He's off target and through for a minor score.
The benches for the respective teams, KB. Brown, Jones, Mitchell and Walton for St Kilda, and for the Kangaroos, Pike, Anderson, Scott Welsh and Motlop.
Pickett kicks in for the Kangaroos with a long kick deep outside 50. Chance there for Abraham, but couldn't take the mark. Comes down to Blakey. It sits up for Everett near centre wing. Stevens got him. Back to McLaren, the goal kicker for the Saints. McLaren to Hall.
I reckon Harvey has hurt his hamstring, Drew. He's holding the back of his leg a few moments ago. He's at the moment, he's on the half-forward flank, but he grabbed the back of his left leg.
Might only get 40 possessions today. Back to Glenn Archer, defensive goal square. Anthony Stevens. There's Robert Harvey. Often he can seem to run these things out. Sometimes you look at him off the ball and he looks dead.
Well, he was concerned. He was grabbing the back of his leg and he was rubbing it and flexing it, and he said heavily strapped.
McKernan, good mark in the pack at right half back for the Kangaroos. That would be a devastating blow for the Saints if Harvey's injured in the first 5 minutes. Carey.
Well, he's got it on the half-back flank. There's Harvey now running. He's a running machine, but he was concerned, no doubt. Big fist away by Knowles, pounced on by Zilla. They had it and lost it, the Saints. Look at Zilla. Tough in the clinches. Grant just shoveled the ball out to Peter Bell. Wobbles the ball to the half-forward line. Here's Burke, captain courageous. He's been the spirit for St Kilda this year. Knowles kicks the ball wide. It'll all open up. Young is screaming for the ball on centre wing. Spotted by Everett. He needs a good bounce. Look out. Here comes Pickett. He was held without the ball. He's a great player, Byron Pickett. He closed quickly.
The Kangaroos have made their first change on Brady Anderson. Off, as you said earlier, Drew, son of the umpire, Shane Clover.
Pickett, front edge of the centre square, back of the pack, Hudson with clean hands, tries to set it up, back to Harvey, edge of the centre square, pumps it to centre half forward. Oh, Stewie Lowe tried to hold out Mick Martin, couldn't take it with a one-hander, gives it back to Simpson, fires the ball back towards the half forward line. He was looking for Allison, he was outnumbered 2-1. Here's Harvey, Brent Harvey, pounces on the ball. BJ Witten medalist goes short, he finds him, the champ's got it. Carey, 55 out, there's no one in the square, he'll go short, it'll all open up. Harvey could just about ruffle it back to Stevens. He's running into the open goal. Stevens, he's missed. Bad miss by Anthony Stevens.
Yep, should really have kicked that one.
Yeah, good composure all the same. He really backed himself to straighten up. It's always a sign of a good player. Not to panic, not to become flustered. Stevens straightened himself up. Just unfortunately, the execution of the foot skills wasn't there. Didn't kick accurately for goal.
Harvey in the back pocket, goes wide. Still in the back pocket, Hudson. Harvey again. 45 possessions last week, Robert Harvey. Incredible. McLaren comes in short. The ball sit up for Zilla, but it doesn't get to him. Abraham back to Bell. Kicked by Bell. In short. Here come the Kangaroos. Abraham open goal square. What a goal!
Well, what a terrific shot on goal there by Winston Abraham. Interesting duel there across half forward. There's that change of direction. You've got to find targets if you're going to change direction into that corridor part of the ground. Quick hands on the overlap by Abrahams. We know he's a penetrating kick, and that one was no exception. But it's been an interesting start. Both sides really prepared to put their bodies on the line. It's always a good sign.
Kangaroos by 5 points. It was a thumping kick, Winston Abraham. He's been at 33 goals for the season. What a pickup he's been from the Dockers. Knowles runs into his teammate. Still good enough to get the ball away. Simpson, been so good for North Melbourne this year. Pickett with a look-away handball. Finds Grant, who goes wide. Stevens, Anthony Stevens, the centre-half forward. Here comes Carey. He looks awesome. He's taken 4 marks already in this opening term. We've still got 12 and a half minutes to play. Carey from 55 metres out to the square, backing back. Off hands, through for a behind.
There's no doubt, Kev, that he's really getting back into the form that we know he's capable of producing. Coming to meet the footy, strong in the contest, bounces up again straight away. When Carey looks like that, you know he's in for a big day.
So Rob Harvey kicking in, kicks to himself, and that's now 6 kicks in general play to the dual Brownlow medalist. He's won the medal the last 2 years. Zilla slung to the ground. Young's there for the Saints. Not doing much to get it out.
Well, he's had 6 kicks so far, Robert Harvey, Mick, but I dare say not one of them's gone more than 30 metres.
Yeah, well, there hasn't been a lot of penetration in his play, but there he is once again on screen, grabbing that back of the left hamstring. Let's hope he doesn't tear it, because his season could be well and truly over.
Everett out of that pack up towards centre circle. Andrew Thompson back to Young, a floating ball. Young did pretty well. Up towards the 50. Mick Martin out in front. Here comes Stewie Lowe. Well done, Mick, who played a great game last week on Tony Lockett. Good start. 5 marks to Carey.
He's all over the ground here at Waverley. His partner in crime, Winston Abraham, runs the centre wing. Big bomb to centre half forward. McKernan was pushing and shoving. He may get the free kick. He was being held by Darryl Wakeland.
Yeah, well picked up, KB. Certainly the incident was off the ball. The 2 players in front of the contest were Knowles and Welsh. But off the ball, there's the free kick against Wakeland on McKernan.
Corey McKernan, 27 goals for the season. From right on 50, unloads. He's pushed it right. Out of bounds on the full. Kangaroos by 6 points. Interchange bench, Aussie Jones there, along with Walton. Goes short. Finds Nathan Burke. Wonder if they have to put him onto the ball later in this game. Shane Wakeland drills it. This is where North Melbourne's so good. They share the ball around cross half back. Taken away that time by Simpson. Good strong mark taken by Harvey, Brent Harvey.
Brent Harvey out with a broken hand the last couple of weeks. He kicks towards centre half forward. Capuano in front, can't take the mark. Comes to McLaren. Slides the hand pass up to Francis. Francis deep to centre half forward. Hall in the chop. At the back, Mick Martin. Playing some of the best footy of his life. Away to Simpson. Grubber of a kick by Simpson, but works out all right for Harvey, who took his eye off it, had it spent. He's gone! Ball, say the crowd. No decision by the umpire, and still no decision. Now a ball up.
Well, I reckon it would have been pretty tough to give the free kick against him, because he didn't have the ball, did he, Mick? He fumbled it. He didn't quite have the ball in his possession. Now he's got it. No real opportunity to get rid of the ball.
Yeah, have to agree with you there, KB. Good decision there by the umpire, I dare say. But just to the ground level balls, it's North Melbourne, or the Kangaroos are getting there far too often. No doubt St Kilda's work rate has still got to be the same as what it was in the first 4 or 5 minutes of play. They've really got to push to that ground level contest.
Kangaroos 2-2 to 1-2. McLaren kicked the first goal of the match. Oh, there's a great mark taken by Blakey. To Simpson, across half back. North Melbourne haven't got one player in the top 35 handballers in the competition. Does that tell us something about North Melbourne's ability to kick the ball and not overuse it? Kangaroos. We must remember to call them the Kangaroos, Drew.
Yeah.
Old habits die hard. Francis on the boundary line, touch of the fumbles. They'll throw it back in.
And further to your point about how the Kangaroos don't handball, their top handballer is 29th in the competition, Shannon Grant, but they've got 3 in the top 10 for kicks.
Well, this is something they're very good at. They don't just overuse the ball or waste it. Test of strength there. Barry Hall wins out over McCartney. Stevens burrows in, kicks the ball towards the boundary line for a toss back in.
It's interesting, Drew, looking at St Kilda's interchange bench. We've got Brown, Jones, Mitchell and Walton at this stage, all relatively small players. So I dare say those type of players, mainly Jones and Mitchell, could be interchangeable through the interchange bench. And maybe it's time for Beveridge to come off the ground and one of Jones or Mitchell go to that forward pocket.
Clean possession by McCartney. Great pick up by McKernan. Into Harvey. Harvey's kick for Carey.
A good play.
Oh, well done by Shane Wakeland. That's the first clear contest he's won against Carey. He did it brilliantly then to his captain Burke.
Change of direction could be on because Everett's the other side of the ground all by himself. There's the play.
And he's looking for Spider, looking into the sun. All-Australian ruckman last year. He kicks towards midfield. I don't know who that was aimed at. Kangaroos have it here. David King loves to tuck the ball under the wing and go. Kick by King. Beautiful. Allison. Well, Knowles did very well to get back and rush it through for a behind.
Yeah, and that principle of going in one side and out the other, that certainly can set a team up. But when the player decides to come back into the congestion and a mistake occurs, great spoil there by Knowles, who kept his eyes on the footy. You just got to find targets if you decide to change direction. Everett didn't, nearly cost him a goal.
A couple of times, Mick, they've changed direction and Peter Everett's been by himself. I just wonder whether that's the role for Peter Everett, to be the loose man standing off the pack, or whether or not he should be just placing himself somewhere in the vicinity of Wayne Carey just to help out and then contest there and allow Crummers to come in or take the ball away. I'm not quite certain whether standing off the pack is where you want your 6'8" ruckman.
Good point.
And Mick, you've called it well. Aussie Jones, the first move for the Saints, warming up, about to come on.
Ryan to the running Burke, finds Francis. They go very short, the Saints. Burke, another possession back to Young, dribbles it along the ground. Taken by McLaren, rockets the ball wide. Francis runs hard from half back, deep into the forward line. Lowe may have got a shove out. He's got the free kick. Mighty Mick will make his point. He always does. There's never been a free kick played against Mick where he hasn't made his point. Now you can see there just a slight touch over the shoulder, just enough to maybe unbalance Stewie Lowe.
But when Mick makes a point, you want to be wearing a raincoat.
Good point, but that's what Stewie Lowe's got to do. Find front position. He's an imposing figure when he's in front. That's when defenders try to over-finesse. You nearly can invent a free kick for your team.
Stewie Lowe just kicked the 19 goals for the season. He's missed. It's been a disappointing year in terms of kicking goals for Stewie Lowe. 19 is not a big tally. Aussie Jones now on the ground, off the bench.
Yeah, Knowles was a player replaced, and they're looking at his left ankle at the moment, so he looks a little bit sore.
Motlop's also just come onto the ground. He's gone to basically the true full forward position. He's now being picked up by Max Hutchin.
Playing just his second game, Shannon Motlop for the Kangaroos. Blakey, back to Pickett. Up towards midfield. Capuano, good mark in front of Lowe. 6-point lead to the Kangaroos. Wasted chances for both teams. Harvey and Burke. Comes to Carey's hand pass, sits for Harvey, not quite. Shane and Darryl Wakeland, the twins, worked well to clear a path for Burke. Now Andrew Thompson. Aussie Jones just on the ground, had a chance. Goes in and applies the tackle, dispossesses the Kangaroos player, but it spills to Bell. Bell's kick to half forward. Hudgton can't complete the mark, comes to Burke. Never let you down in a crisis, Nathan Burke. Harvey just inside the line. He slipped over, but the ball stayed in. He's coming up for his 7th kick, Robert Harvey. And he can't be 100% fit, but that's just how good he is. Comes to the front, Simpson. Back to Bell. Bell's kick. Back to a contest, 1 against 1. They go to ground, all except Zilla. Zilla along the line, low.
Good hand.
Good mark.
And some good signs there, because Stewie Lowe taking that mark out in front. He was under pressure from Mighty Mick.
just appears to me, KB, the St Kilda players really back themselves against the matchups, especially against the Kangaroos.
Kangaroos by 6 points. There's Blakey thumping the ball wide, taken away by Beveridge. Still alive for the Saints. Inside 50. Capuano, it was a look-away handball. Bell was caught. Chance here for the Saints. Weaving his way out of trouble was King. Then gives directions to Blakey, across to McCartney. Back line this year has had the most points kicked against it for the sides in the top 8 North Melbourne. So St Kilda just trying to penetrate a defence this year that has had quite a few scores kicked against it. Matthew Young on screen. Instrumental in the good form of St Kilda early in the season. Timmy Watson. Won 2 out of their past 9 games. Capuano, the front position. Trying to take over in front also is James Begley, playing his first game. And he'll get the free kick. This youngster from Sturt in the back.
And Martin Pike just on the ground for Welsh. That's actually Pagan's 4th interchange 20 minutes into the game.
So Begley's kick up towards half forward. Oh, what a mark. Cross in front of the pack. Simpson. Kick by Simpson. Back over the wing. Everett. Well, that's how you got to use your 6'9".
And that's what you mentioned, KB. That's the type of role that he's got to do. Get back into that hole. His height could become a critical factor today. Adam Simpson's been terrific across half-back. He's got the job on Thompson. Already he's had 12 possessions, 8 and 4.
Everett into midfield. Young. Straight up the corridor. Hall sets himself. Can't complete the mark. Front square Thompson. Running past is Heatley. Just offline. Well, dropped short. Didn't make the distance. And Bell takes the mark. Out to Shannon Grant. Grant from half-back. Out to centre wing. And McKernan covering ground like a rover.
Corey McKernan from centre wing drills it. Oh, another great defensive play that time by Shane Wakeland. Got his fist to the ball. It's the second time he's now made a great save in front of Wayne Carey.
I think he's adjusted his game too, KB. First 3 or 4 minutes of play, Carey led him to the footy. Wakeland now was positioning himself about 5 to 10 metres directly in front. And if Carey's going to jump over him, so be it. But you've got to play in front, especially a player like Wayne Carey.
Young does the ruck work. Zilla does the strength work. Ball up 55 metres out from North Melbourne's goal.
There's no doubt about it, St Kilda today have really adjusted to the game plan of what the Kangaroos usually do. They've had 50 kicks, 20 have only been 20 handballs, so they're playing a more direct approach today, kicking long and giving their forwards an opportunity to mark the footy.
So a chance for North Melbourne with the ball up on the half-forward line. Young does well. Oh, great interception. Tremendous play taken away by King. Thumps the ball. Carey. Well, he's a hard man to keep down. He tries to set it up. It was unselfish play. Stevens is in a spot of bother. Does well. Wobbles the ball back towards the goal square. Clean bowls Martin Pike for a boundary throw-in. So Wayne Carey, unselfish play, just didn't get the short kick away.
Carey too good for his team's good, really, there. 6 marks, 6 kicks to Wayne Carey. What a start. It wasn't one of his best kicks, though. Boundary throw-in chance for the Kangaroos. Had just 3 goals in this opening term. Only a couple of weeks ago we saw a game between the Kangaroos and Essendon. There were 15 in the first quarter. Stevens and Harvey. I wonder if Steve will be able to stay with him all day. Usually you rotate on Robert Harvey. He might be a bit handicapped today. Darryl Wakeland, but intercepted by Bell. Motlop! Motlop! Goal!
What a freakish goal that was. Shannon Motlop will come onto the ground about the 15-minute mark of the first quarter. So great strength over the footy. What about the roving here from Peter Bell? Ran onto the loose ball very quickly, but good strength in the contest there by Motlop. Kept his feet, just had the awareness to drop the footy on the inside of his left foot and dribble the ball accurately towards goal. That is a team lift-up for himself and also for the team.
Well, Dennis Pagan again on the phone. Shannon Motlop, his first goal in AFL football. Central Districts, played with the Wanderers up in Northern Territory. So what a moment for that young man. Francis, the veteran, back towards centre half forward. A bad bounce there from Blakely. Thump forward. Good strong play also by North Melbourne there across half back. That was from Grant. They take it away. Blakey once more. half smothered off the boot. Coming in hard was Corey McKernan. Kicked the ball back the wrong way. Over the top was James Begley. May have given away the free kick he has. And North Melbourne on the edge of the centre square. Peter Bell stands and delivers back towards centre half forward. Here's Carey. Read it well. Everett just couldn't quite get his fist to it. He was in a better position. Carey unloads. Pumps it to the goal square. Well, Capuano just too tall, too big and too good.
And Motlop did a terrific job to get rid of Hudson. Maxie's not too happy about it.
His free kick, actually. Motlop off the ball, Drew. That's the reason why the ball has been given to him.
Now, Wayne Carey just talking here. Now, he just pumped that ball long. And we see young Motlop has just kicked his second goal.
Yeah, Motlop, promising young player, obviously. Very well respected down there at the Kangaroos. Playing from the goal square. He's kicked his second goal, but there's Wayne Carey. Spent some time talking to one of the physios of the Kangaroos. Capuano looked dangerous on that occasion, pushing forward. Everett certainly got to stick with him because his mobility can be very good for his team.
Shannon Motlop, a purple patch, came off the bench. Has kicked 2 goals in a couple of minutes. His first 2 goals in AFL football. King out of the middle, but the kick is smothered. Now the Saints have it. McLaren. And he got the hand pass from Begley inside the 50. Ball by Martin. It comes down to Bell. Now Mick Martin again. Across the ground. Anthony Stevens. Harvey about 25 metres away. Stevens has plenty of time to set up. Looks to centre half forward. Carey in the chop. Young got a touch. Shane Wakeland for the Saints. Harvey. It might be better off kicking it, Robert Harvey. Abraham to King. Pops it up high. Motlop or Carey. Here's Motlop for his third. Great stuff, son. Oh, kick it, please. Unfortunately, got nothing.
Puts it over the line. Young Motlop. He's come off the bench. His first 2 kicks. He's booted 2 goals just in his second game of AFL football.
He played in round 10 against Port Adelaide and was injured. We haven't seen him since.
I know coming to that game there were some big raps on young Motlop. McKernan tries to half kick it. Taken away by Zilla. Goes to ground. McKernan barrels in hard for the ball. Then taps it out. Was clever play to Grant. Does well. Some fancy footwork. Quick snap. Over the line on the full. So after a promising start by the Saints, kicking 1-1 to North Melbourne not scoring, the Kangaroos now have the foot on the pedal. 27 plays 9. Burke short. Play the ball short out of defence, the Saints. There's a poor kick by Young, been taken by Capuano. So it'll open up. Loose players everywhere. Harvey, 55 metres out. They put it to the hot spot. Motlop's in front. Couldn't take it. Hutchton. Good tackle by Grant. They'll ball it up.
Yeah, and Clayton was the player who nearly marked that footy in the goal square. But just watching Peter Everett on that occasion, he really committed himself to the short kick rather than pushing his body back against Capuano. Coming out of defence, you've just got to at least provide a contest. Everett's got to really steel his mind now to relish this contest against Capuano and be involved in the marking contest, because he's the player across midfield the defensive group will have to look for.
Blood rule for Shane Clayton, so he's coming off the ground. We have just 47 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and it's been a barnstorming second half to this quarter by the Kangaroos. And Ozzy, are you getting much breeze down there? Because the Roos, well, the Saints certainly have it in the first quarter, so if the Kangaroos are doing this into the breeze, I hate to think what's going to happen in the second quarter.
Yeah, Drew, there's definitely a breeze to left of square. It's not a huge breeze, but it would be at least 1 or 2 goals, so that is a bit disconcerting for the Saints at this point.
Blood from the mouth for Clayton. And Anderson comes on for the Kangaroos. He's got to get to his spot before the umpire can restart the game. And if the Saints concede another goal here, Tim Watson will be furious at quarter time. They started well, the Saints. McKernan, Wakeland's there. Shane, number 12. Hutchton in there getting the hard ball. And Young as well, and Young gets the free kick for the Saints. See if they can whip it up the length of the ground and kick a goal before quarter time. Here's Max Hudson. He's had a pretty disappointing season, low on confidence. He almost drew himself straight into the tackle. Gets it away up towards half forward, low outnumbered. Knocked away from him by Martin. Comes back mighty Mick Martin. KB loves him, and why not? Terrific football. Gets it again. Martin to half forward. Kerry. At the back, Anderson. Hand pass was a little bit slick for Harvey. And there is the siren for quarter time. Saints started well, but just like they've done this season, started well, got the staggers, and the Kangaroos are 4-3 to 1-3.
Yeah, Drew, they kicked the first goal of the game through McLaren. It really looked like they were here to compete throughout the course of the 2 hours of battle. It was the Kangaroos who kicked the last 4 goals of that first quarter. They settled into the contest that little bit better, and they've got the ascendancy by 19 points at this stage.
Tim Watson coming to address his troops. An 18-point lead to the Kangaroos at quarter time. Spider Everett up against Capuano at the opening bounce to start the second quarter. Capuano takes clean possession. Ball doesn't travel anywhere, and then they're in after it. Soccer forward goes to Young. Young gets the Saints going forward inside the 50, and a juggle by Archer. Good mark. Well, the Saints' first quarter mirrored their season. Good start, ordinary finish. Archer, what a beautiful kick. Allison off the left. He loves it like that. That's just perfect for a left footer. Brent Harvey. Harvey from outside centre half forward. Long. Carey with a sit. He climbed, saw back and everything. Couldn't take the mark. And the umpire will ball it up only about 15 or 20 metres out from goal.
Yeah, and already, Drew, there's been 10 contested marks for the Kangaroos. St Kilda are yet to take a contested mark. No doubt that'll be a concern for coach Tim Watson.
You can see there Wayne Carey just still stretching that back. Hutchton cops one from Carey, sends the ball back over the line. Wayne Carey on screen. Got attention at quarter time. 7 kicks and 1 handball and 7 marks and a goal in that opening term. See those shoulders both heavily strapped. And shoulder reconstructions. Here's McKernan, slaps the ball over the back. Young was desperate. Bell falls on top. Burke also, along with Clayton. And they'll ball it up just 20 metres out from the Kangaroos' goal. 27 plays 9. Shannon Motlop. He's the only multiple goal kicker so far in the game. He's booted 2 goals. Coming off the bench in that first quarter. McKernan was a beautiful tap down. Harvey gives it across to the champ. Concedes ground, backtracks, then kicks to the pocket. It was great vision in the end. He's looking for Capuano, should trap the ball, finally takes it over.
Yeah, and he's certainly pushing forward at every opportunity, is Capuano. Everett's certainly got to push forward with him and provide that one-on-one contest deep in the Kangaroos' forward line.
Everett and Capuano to do battle. The feet of Capuano with strength takes it away from Everett. McLaren just paddles the ball back over the line for a toss back in.
Starting interchanges for the second quarter, boys. Pike, Anderson, Mooney and Welsh for the Kangaroos. And for the Saints, Francis, Lowe, Heatley and Knowles. And Lowe, no, he's not injured, he's just off.
So Heatley and Lowe sitting down to start the second quarter. Start to wonder where their goals are going to come from. McLaren goes back to Young. Young over half back. Allison hit the ball very hard. Well done, Brett Allison, the veteran. Back to Peter Bell. Bell to the goal square. And just out of bounds, just missed the behind post, and we'll have a throw in. When they met in round 5, these sides, the Kangaroos won by 2 points after trailing by 19 at half time. That's when the Saints were going well. 2-point game. McKernan. Ball locked in by Stevens. Ian Young having a wrestle for it. And we'll have another ball up.
Anthony Stevens on screen, playing game number 201. He's had plenty of battles with Robert Harvey. Chance for North Melbourne. Just 15 metres out. Kick there, half mid-air by Harvey, taken away by Carey. Gives it to Winston Abraham from point-blank range. He's bent it back. He's got it. 2 goals to Winston Abraham.
Yeah, on that occasion, Damien Ryan put himself in no man's land. He didn't know whether to commit himself to the Carey tackle at ground level. He just got himself away from his opponent, Abrahams. You watch this contest to the left of screen. There he was there. Abrahams pushed him underneath away from his contest. Just allowed him enough space to receive the ball from Carey and to kick a shot on goal. He's second for the day. He's certainly taken control.
Peter Bell's arms went up in the goal square. At first I thought he might have been calling for it, and then he made the two-arm salute for the goal. Gee, all Kangaroos at the moment. Saints desperately need the next. So who comes in and gets it? Nathan Burke. Well, Michael Martin, isn't he going well at the moment? His kick up to centre wing. Grant. Back after a week suspension. Shannon Grant towards half forward. Harvey Camp in the middle of the pack. Allison tries to get on his left and does. Keeps it low and kicks the goal.
And that's what Brett Allison is more than capable of doing on a number of occasions. Very good accurate kick for goal. Have a looking at Robert Harvey. He certainly saw after that contest. There it is there, the knee straight in the middle of the back. And as Ozzy said, his hamstring may be back related. That certainly wouldn't help its cause. But great goal by Allison. The Kangaroos sixth.
Sometimes Robbie Harvey can look as though he's one step from the ambulance, but he'll keep going.
Kangaroos by 30 points. Brett Allison just playing his sixth game for the season. That's what he gives to the North Melbourne forward line, that exhilarating burst of speed. A couple of seasons back also took the mark of the year. Everett over the top of Capuano. Harvey, his kicking is really lacked penetration today. He keeps winning the ball. Pickett does it well from half-back. The Norwich Rising Star winner from last year has now cemented himself as one of the premier half-back flankers in the game. He's tough at it. Wants the free kick. They'll get a ball up on centre wing.
And there was that example of Byron Pickett keeping his feet in the contest. Brown decided to go to ground. Once you go to ground, you're out of the contest. And here's Pickett, eyes only on the ball, great balance. There's Brown going to ground. Pickett won the footy.
Walton gets the ball out to McLaren. Young under pressure. Back to McLaren. Had it and lost it. Great defensive play by North Melbourne. No easy kicks or handballs for the Saints. Kicked off the ground by King. Carey will feed the ball off. Around the corner by Motlop. Just too much carry on the ball for Corey McKernan. And a wasted opportunity through for a behind.
Just looking at Peter Everett once again in midfield as a ruckman. Hasn't played a lot of ground time over the last probably 5 or 6 weeks, specifically in the ruck. Maybe it's time to bring Lowe back onto the ground and play that rucking role. Everett going forward to create another marking target.
In short to Hudson. At the moment, the Saints look as though Barry Hall is their main avenue to goal. Hudson across the goal square. You zigzag Waverley, and honestly, you need a map and a compass. On the bounce to Begley, first gamer. He does well to keep it in. Kicks back to a contest on centre wing. Blakey kept it going forward for the Kangaroos. Grant spikes the ball out. McKernan spikes it forward. Oh, well done, Allison, to work his opponent off it. Harvey to Motlop. Motlop centres. Great footy. Carey's got it. Lost it. Robert Harvey's got it for St Kilda. Well, they were lucky to get out of that. Hunston, his confidence is shot to pieces, Maxie. And this will be a Kangaroos kick for goal. And Winston will be going for his third.
And what a chase and tackle there by Abrahams. Hudson should have cleared the ball because there were St Kilda players free. But look at that lunging tackle just to pin the arms of Hudson. That's great second effort stuff in your forward line. That's what Dennis Pagan certainly wants from his players in that part of the ground.
Well, they had a number of possessions in that passage of play, Mick, St Kilda, but they virtually didn't get the ball outside of 50.
And Mick, Stewie Lowe back on the ground. I was just about to make the comment, surely, even though he's only had 2 touches in the first quarter, he's not going to regain any form or confidence on the bench. You've got to get him on if they're going to win the game.
Yep, good point, Aussie.
Winston Abraham for his third. This could be an absolute shellacking. Abraham's kick looks all right. They like it behind the goals. No, he's offline. They tried to con the goal umpire, and they only got me. 41-9, and that is now 11 scoring shots to 4.
And Everett is now going forward. Looks like he'll play from the goal square. Stuart Lowe has gone into the ruck, as we suggested.
The Saints bounced out of the blocks in that opening quarter, kicking 1-1 before North Melbourne scored. It's now 1-3-9 to 6-5-41. So the Kangaroos applying the pressure. Another short kick to Burke in the back pocket. This is where North Melbourne's good, because they'll man up quickly. And if you want a short pass, sooner or later, they'll force the error. Nathan Burke, he'll get the hurry on now from the umpire, says you better kick the ball now. Again, another short pass. Finds Young. Still inside 50. That's the third one, and they're still only 8 metres out from goals. Across the face of goal finds McLaren. Still in the defensive 50, St Kilda. Now, just outside. Tony Brown on the half-back flank. North Melbourne players push back to make a contest. Taken by Corey McKernan. Now, he'll thump this. It's likely to put it straight back inside 50. Big Corey.
We can see this happening, and they apparently can't.
Half kicked the ground. Playing in front, Stevens. Marks in front of Lowe. Back to Shannon Grant. To centre half forward. Tony Brown standing his ground, takes the mark.
If the Kangaroos have 7 possessions, the ball will be 2 suburbs away.
Short to Matthew Young. So players racking up possessions. Maybe not gaining too much ground. Stewie Lowe gets the roars from the St Kilda fans. Down towards Barry Hall, couldn't take it, taken away by Blakey. Quick hands, back to McCartney. This time he goes short and finds Mighty Mick. It'll open up here now for North Melbourne. Goes very wide to Corey McKernan. Off and running. Big Corey on centre wing. Time for Think Music. 2 casual bounces and pumps the ball back towards centre half forward. Carey stands his ground. He's got 2 to beat. Here's a chance. Clayton pounced on to Winston Abraham around the corner. Flying shot. It's kicked to behind. 2 goals to Winston Abraham.
And just looking at this quarter, Drew, there's no doubt Tim Watson's gave the instruction to play a shorter game, try to create some run from somewhere, merely because they're pretty deficient with height and kicking to marking targets. That's the reason why Lowe's gone back into the rucking part of the ground and probably obviously try to create some mobility as well.
Wakeland. McLaren still only at left half back. Ball hasn't been up inside the attacking 50 for the Saints, I don't think, in this quarter. Centre wing, punch to the front, bit of a fumble by Brown. He's had a very shaky season, Brown. Comes back to McLaren, beats the tackle, the hand pass away. Barry Hall back in defence. Out to Burke, who's moved forward. Nathan Burke goes long. Everett's got all the height against Martin. Well done, Mighty Mick. Comes down to Simpson, and wide to Capuano. He can have a cut lunch. He's got that much time. Capuano, oh, disappointing hand pass. Straight to the worst bloke he could give it to, Robert Harvey. Touched off the boot, play on. Beveridge, just his 2nd game of the year. Back he comes. Ryan centres the ball, and the mark is taken out here for the Saints by Elliott. By Walton. Up towards the goal square. Low. Needed a mark. Off the ground, Mitchell.
Certainly needed that one, did the Saints. That's an understatement. The Kangaroos had kicked the previous 6 goals in succession. That's what they've got to do, get the footy into their goal square as quickly as possible. Lowe's the marking target. Good crumbing ability there by Mitchell. He got front and square to the contest to give himself an opportunity to crumb properly, increase his percentages to win the ball. But they certainly needed that goal.
Saints have their 2nd goal on the board. Gavin Mitchell, that's what he's good at. Just pouncing on that loose ball. He's booted 29 goals for the season. So he's a dangerous player. If they can pump the ball deep, If they can't take the mark, gives a chance for the likes of Mitchell. Now the free kick is coming back.
And Shane Wakeland hobbled off a couple minutes earlier. It looks like his left groin replaced by Heatley.
Barry Hall went short. Chipped in was Allison. Kicks the ball. Again deep into the forward line. He's looking for Motlop, who's booted 2 goals. Taken by Max Hudson. Fires the ball out towards Burke. Finds Ryan on the half-back flank. 6-6-42, the Kangaroos. 2-3-15, the Saints. Ryan finds a loose player in Stewie Lowe. Feeds the ball off. He's looking for Walton. Has to kick under pressure. Back towards the half-forward line. The race is on. Out comes Archer. Sees the ball back over the line.
And Mooney back on for the Kangaroos. Capuano off.
So let's have a look at inside 50s. 12-15 in the first quarter and 4-8 in the second.
And also now, KB, that Barry Hall has gone back to centre half back. McKernan took that last centre square contest, but straight after that contest pushed forward. Hall's opposed to him. Now Mooney will probably go into the ruck opposed to Stuart Lowe. Heatley's now full forward alongside Everett.
Free kick to McCartney. He takes it up towards centre wing. McKernan, good punch by Hall, but it comes to Pickett. Kicked by Byron Pickett. Young out of the air. Luck's a fortune for Brown. In he comes to McLaren at full stretch. King aggressively standing the mark. Joey runs around. Very high ball. Anyone with any height there? Heatley. Punch away. Comes to Simpson. Wide to Bell. Great season, Peter Bell. Stevens leaves it for Harvey. Back to Bell. Now Bell with a bit of distance to centre wing. Punch by Young. Almost came back to hit him on the head. Now Umpire will ball it up. Saw a shot of David Parkin watching on. Carlton play the Saints next week. And at the moment, you wouldn't say he's got a lot to worry about.
A week's a long time in footy in saying that also, though, Drew. But St Kilda have certainly got to stabilise the situation. They've got to try to win this quarter if they can to give themselves a chance in that third quarter, which they've struggled with all year.
Kangaroos by 27 points. Harvey is quick. Goes to Brown. Has to get rid of it. Burke has pounced on it across half-back. Great vision. Goes wide. Again, interception by Winston Abraham. He's booted a couple of goals. Kicks the ball out wide. Finds Mooney. They are quick into the forward line. St Kilda far too slow at getting the ball inside their 50.
And KB, it's just such a risky spot that to kick the ball, centering it from the half-back to the directly in the middle of the ground. Abraham just cuts it off and bang, a shot on goal.
It was terrific anticipation by Winston, who is very quick. Mooney from 45 metres out. Won't be happy with this kick. Through for a behind.
And Aussie, like you said, from down there at ground level, the player who's to receive the footy if the change direction's on, he's got to be a long way clear.
Yeah, you're not wrong there, mate. Like they say, if you're going to turn it over, you turn it over long, not short.
If the Kangaroos had kicked straight, they'd have spaced them by now.
Well, they've got Heatley now on the forward line, and of course Peter Everett on the forward line as well. So North Melbourne continue to kick the ball long. Here's a chance. Wakeland comes out and takes the mark. Darryl Wakeland.
Begley goes short. Burke pops one over the top to Mitchell. Mitchell from behind the wing. Low to Heatley. The full forward's a mile out from goal. He's lost it. Archer gets it away towards the boundary line. Young. And the Saints have to do it all again. Begley to Harvey. Robert Harvey floats the hand pass over. Walton's hand pass into Begley. Scooped off the deck by Beveridge. Heatley goes short for Brown. 60 metres out, Tony Brown. Pickett dives, but missed with the smother. Everett's there. Comes to Thompson. He got it.
Yeah, good play there by Thompson. Very good work there by Everett also in the marking contest. Pushed his body pretty hard against Mick Martin, his opponent. Good play here by Brown. Wheeled back onto his dominant side. Got the ball in there quickly. That was the key. There's Everett standing his ground enough so Mick Martin couldn't get his hand on the ball to clear the area. Enable Thompson to run onto that loose footy and convert.
Kangaroos by 22 points. The last 2 goals have come from kicks being pumped into the forward line. They've had Crummers Mitchell and Andrew Thompson. That might tell a story. Burke, forever, works hard. That's his 15th possession. Back to Harvey. Kicks the ball back towards centre half forward. Brown hits the pack hard, then bundled over. Loose ball, Bell. Cross half back. Shrugs the tackle off from low. Goes to Grant, who kicks the ball wide. Corey McKernan. He's got Begley to beat in his first game. McKernan around the corner. Long bombs it back, looking for Mooney in front. Picked up by Carey. Half smothered off the boot. North Melbourne under pressure this time by the Saints, taken away by Barry Hall. Again, a short kick. Looked like Welsh was going to make ground. Max Hudgson's got it in the back pocket. To Stewie Lowe. Back edge of the centre square. Can feed it off to the run of Burke. The spirit of St Kilda. Can he lift the Saints? Inside 50. Here comes Everett. Great mark taken by Blakey.
Yeah, well done, Johnny Blakey. Out to Stevens. Wide open for the Kangaroos down the outer side. Brent Harvey waiting for Stevens. Stevens to centre half forward. Carey's not in the chop here. Oh, excellent mark. Taken by Mooney. The hand pass slightly behind Allison. He's not bad off the right either. Here's Carey in space. Banana kick on the run. Oh, magnificent.
Yeah, good passage of play there from the Kangaroos. Worked hard on that outer side of the ground. Kept working hard to push the ball forward. Great mark here there by Mooney. Jumped early, got his body against his opponent in Wakeland, who decided to leave his direct opponent in Carey. He had space behind to run into and kick that banana shot on goal. His second for the day.
2 goals to Wayne Carey, 55 for the season. And young Cameron Mooney looks like he might be a player of the future. Good size, attacks the ball hard. Kangaroos by 28 points. Stewie Lowe. Eyes off Corey McKernan. St Kilda's last home and away game at Waverley Park. First came here in 1993 as a home ground. Lowe does well out of the centre square. Kicks it to Mitchell. He's come off the bench and he's kicked a goal. Back to McLaren to the half forward line. Heatley spent some time on the bench as well. Beveridge sets it up to Thompson. Runs into the open goal. Missed opportunity.
Yeah, good quick hands there by Mitchell, who set that ball up for his teammates running forward. There's Aussie Jones, Tony Francis on the interchange bench. They'll be rotated, no doubt, throughout the course of the game today, especially in that second half when run could be important.
Grant marks the kick in. 27-point lead to the Kangaroos. 5.5 minutes to go to halftime. Grant with distance. McKernan in the pack. Good punch by Hall. It comes to the front. Walton's hand pass. Thompson's been okay this quarter. He centres the ball. Brown. Blakey's got the height to beat him. And always a runner going past for the Kangaroos. Bell back to Grant. Not good off the left. Andrew Thompson. Open goal. Oh, what a mistake. And Thompson says to Grant, thank you very much.
It's interesting actually watching today. A lot of the St Kilda players have attacked Shannon Grant, especially off the footy. Obviously they're trying to get into his mind a little bit to create some mistakes maybe. But Grant, as we know, is a polished player. Unfortunately on that occasion he just wasn't balanced to kick the ball to clear the area. Thompson was in the right spot at the right time. Free kick being given to McKernan in centre field.
And kicks the ball straight away back towards centre half forward, looking for Allison with that pace. Gets away from his opponent, then drills at the bell. Just under 5 minutes left in this second quarter. Bad mistake by Shannon Grant. Usually he's a very good kick. Andrew Thompson, 2 goals in this second quarter. They drag it back to a 21-point ball game. Bell from right on 50. Bends it back to the square. Through for a behind.
Look at the centre clearances also today. They've been good in close and Kilda. It's been 10-2, which is a huge discrepancy, but on the scoreboard it's Kangaroos 15 scoring shots to only 8. they've had more direct approach to goal than what the St Kilda team have had.
Robert Harvey has had 14 possessions. Hasn't kicked the ball any great distance today. You can see there his left hamstring very heavily strapped. Sets it up as the playmaker. They've given it away. And North Melbourne makes them pay as Anthony Stevens bangs it through.
Well, that's one each at either end of the ground. Two absolute shockers to set up goals for the opposition.
Yeah, and certainly that hurts. Harvey tried to set some play up by some creative run and ball use. There he was going for the 1-2. And your direct opponent, Stevens, he was there to smother the footy from Brown's handball, who's been removed from the ground. Knowles is now back on the ground. But that would certainly hurt St Kilda. So just starting to get back into the contest, as the scoreboard indicated.
Well, there's a new term come into football lately, clanger. And I think that'll go against Brown there with a flashing asterisk. That's a huge one. Just like Shannon Grant's. Back in the middle. McKernan whips it over his head. Harvey, oh, well done, Stevens, but great tackle, Burke. And holding it. Advantage? No, there's no advantage there. It'll come back to Burke.
Yeah, good decision by the umpire. Burke's been sensational in this second quarter since he's actually gone to that midfield part of the ground. He's been matched up with Peter Bell. Both players are running extremely hard. Abraham's not sure what's going on around him, whose free kick it is, but Burke, this is his 10th possession for the quarter. 7th kick, 3 handballs.
That should have been a 50 to Burke. Comes to the front of the pack. Everett on his backside. Heatley gets a hand pass out, and here's a little snap for goal by Walton. It falls over the line.
Yeah, Walton certainly knows where the goals are. He's got that uncanny awareness just to kick the ball accurately for goal, whether it's a straight kick or across his body. Good work here. A couple of players were involved at the ground level ball. Good quick hands by Heatley. He was the player underneath who got the ball to Walton, who snapped accurately with his right foot towards goal. Good team lifter.
Timmy Watson sitting back in the box. Alistair Clarkson on the phone, former North Melbourne and Melbourne player. 34 plays, 56. Stewie Lowe wants a free kick. Won't get it. Bell slides onto the ball. Taken away by Grant. North Melbourne quickly into the forward line. Here's young Mooney. Taken away this time by big bad bustling Barry Hall. Heads for the line. Boundary throw in. Well, he started on the forward line, but he's been sent down back. Aussie Jones also back on the ground.
It's 4 goals each this quarter. Actually, the Saints aren't absolutely out of it.
Throw in between halfback and centre wing, favouring North Melbourne. Anderson around the corner. Wakeland's got Carey to beat. Takes a one-hander. No U-turn. Tries to feed the ball off. It was good, strong play. Saints force the error. Harvey with those quick hands back to Young. Taken away by Anderson. Quick snap. He's got it.
Once again, St Kilda inventing the mistake, just overusing the footy inside their defensive part of the ground. When under pressure, in congestion, you must think kick just to clear the area. Think forward, think kick, get the ball long out of the dangerous part of the ground. There's one handball, 2 quick hands, just to nobody. Create a mistake, the opportunity presents itself for the opposition to capitalise. That's what the Kangaroos did on that occasion through a terrific snapshot on goal by Anderson.
Well, both those St Kilda mistakes, which finished up in Kangaroos goals, started with Robert Harvey finessing in the last line. And here's a Saints free kick, the advantage. Harvey gets the hand pass to Mitchell, who was in open ground, closing in on goal, but the ball's got to come back to Jason Heatley. By now, the Kangaroos get back to cover their men. A lead by Aussie Jones from the pocket. Heatley, Everett. Couldn't hold it. Mitchell at the back. Now the Kangaroos have it. Brent Harvey, Pickett. Ryan takes the mark for the Saints. Just under 2.5 minutes to half-time. Kicked by Ryan. Walton up. Heatley as well, comes to McCartney. Everett's got it for the Saints. Hand pass blocked. Jones, Zilla tries to get boot to ball. Well, there's no breathing room in there. The Kangaroos just swarm at you. And
once again, Drew, you just saw the example of getting your hands free from your body. Jason McCartney was the player that was under pressure, but he had that ability to get his arms up in the air. The technique of the tackler is to go at the hips, but you got an opportunity then, if your hands are free, to use the ball to the advantage of your team.
Kangaroos by 28 points. Got a big quarter by Nathan Burke. He's tried to rally the troops, taken away by Harvey. Brent Harvey for North Melbourne. Gets the ball back to Winston Abraham. Gives it across to King. Some quick hands. Back to Shannon Grant. Edge to the centre square. Pumps the ball. Looking for Allison. Does well. Used his body. Needs a kind bounce. Can't get it. Gets support from Motlop. Allison from outside of 50 around the corner. One-on-one duel. Wakeland versus Carey. Can he get rid of Young? He does well. Gets the ball back. Motlop sets it up short. Max Hudson. Goal to Grant.
Yeah, once again, Wayne Carey was involved in that contest at ground level. Worked hard just to get Young off the line of the ball. That was a critical factor. Here's the build-up. Kept his front position, but chased in the second effort. There it was, that little deft bump to push him off the line of the footy, his opponent, and Young. Motlop went short, didn't get enough carry on the ball, but to the advantage of his teammate was Grant. He kicked the goal accurately. Couldn't miss from that situation. Certainly a goal that St Kilda didn't want to give away, and there's only 1 minute and 13 remaining in this, the second quarter.
Well, it was 4 goals each this quarter. As soon as I spoke, Kangaroos have gone bang, bang. And now it's looking, well, they've doubled their score. 68 to 34. McKernan gets the ball down. The Kangaroos just don't give you a split second. They're all over you like a blanket.
Yeah, they're just relentless in their approach to get the ball back off the opposition. I think that's the real attitude of the Kangaroos, has been probably for the whole Dennis Pagan reign as coach. Really work hard to dispossess their opponent once they win possession of the footy.
Inside the 50, Heatley can't take a trick. Gets the hand pass back, they've lost it. A throw, free kick to the Kangaroos. That'll be taken by McCartney. Blakey, great discipline. Always a player running past for the hand pass. Motlop, good mark. It's a shame he's only played a couple of games. I think we might see a bit more of him. Not a bad time of the year to come into the side. 3 weeks short of the finals. Kick by Motlop to half forward. Huge leap down there by Welsh. Harvey front of the pack. Bell doing the hard stuff to Brent Harvey, to Grant, to King. King from the centre circle, smothered by Aussie Jones. Socket forward by Grant. All St Kilda. And Darryl Wakeland takes the mark. There's the siren. Half-time here at Waverley. Plenty to do for the Saints. They trail by 34 points. They've only scored 34 points. Darryl Wakeland with a bit of a limp. 10-8 the Kangaroos to 5 goals for St Kilda.
Yeah, Kangaroos once again winning the quarter. They won the quarter by 16 points. They're in control of this game.
Lot to do for Tim Watson at half-time. So the second half gets underway. But 3 Harveys, 1 on each side, and umpire Harvey bounces the ball. And look at the tackling by the Kangaroos. That was Anderson. And they quickly go forward. Winston's been fantastic. And the pass was low and hard. Hall gets back and evades pretty well. Darryl Wakeland towards the outer side for Andrew Thompson. Brent Harvey closes the gap. Thompson back to McLaren. His kick towards half forward, that's better. It wasn't a mark, but it might be a goal. Mitchell runs on, well played, Gavin Mitchell! Hand pass to Stewie Lowe, that's better, St Kilda!
Yeah, much better, Drew, as you suggested. Good work there by Mitchell, the blind turn. He was the one that kept the footy alive. Good, clean hands when there could have been contest with the body. There it is there. He ran onto that loose ball. Terrific stuff to watch the ball into his hands, then assess when he was going to ball. Held it at the right time to give the ball to his teammate Stuart Lowe, who kicked his first goal for the day. And that's the goal St Kilda needed to maybe launch an attack in this contest.
Great start by the Saints. In this third quarter, they got the ball quickly in the forward line and there was space. I like Mitchell on the ground for St Kilda. He looks a dangerous player. He's kicked 29 goals for the season. He set that one up. Over the top was Knowles. They need a crummer in front of the pack. Thompson was there. Back to Knowles. Edge of the centre square again. A long bomb into the forward line. Stewie Lowe. Maybe that lift in confidence. Kicked off the ground by Mitchell. Finally forced back over the line for a behind.
He just adds that little bit of speed across that full forward line to crumb and run onto that loose ball.
He's not going to be a player, Mick, who will win a lot of the ball, but he may only get 2 or 3 opportunities in the game, but he will score goals and he'll create a goal. And that's why he's a dangerous player. And they're not very dangerous when they sit on the interchange bench. Everett got his fist to the ball. Aussie Jones back to Burke. He was very good in that second quarter. Again, the target was low, but there he is. Gavin Mitchell playing in front of Byron Pickett.
Yeah, good stuff, KB. He's the player that really could be the one that lifts the St Kilda teammates. Superior judgment on this occasion. Archer and Martin got underneath the flight of the footy merely because Lowe was the target. Mitchell was at the back of the pack, read at best. Now this is an important shot on goal.
Well, he's kicked 29 goals, 10 for the season. He came off the bench and kicked a goal in the second quarter. He set up the first one in this third term. And if he can kick this, it'll be just the start Tim Watson wants in this third term. They started at 34 points down. Mitchell kicks a goal.
Yeah, terrific start to the third quarter. Mitchell's only had 5 possessions. He's not a player renowned to win a lot of the footy, but usually when he does win it close to goal, a goal is normally the result. Good work there by Everett. Got his body into the contest, punched the ball forward to keep the ball alive for the St Kilda forward crumbing players. Burke evaded Bakey, tried to set up low, but Mitchell was in the right spot at the right time to kick his second.
Well, that's better for Tim Watson. The opening 2 goals of this second half for the Saints. They do have the breeze in this third quarter. So they'd want to get right up towards the Kangaroos by the last change. Carey. Wakeland doing well at the moment. And the umpire's going to ball this up just outside the 50.
Through the interchange for St Kilda, Brown, Wakeland, that's Shane Wakeland, Francis and Ryan. And for the Kangaroos, interestingly, Pike, Clayton, Welsh and McKernan, who didn't come out and sat on the dugout after half-time. So I don't know if he's injured or not. He looked all right coming off the ground, but I'll have to keep you updated with that.
And Pike hasn't had a gallop yet. Missed nearly 2 months.
Well, he did come on the ground very quickly early in the game, but was off within about a minute.
And this start in the third quarter, Drew, would be a confidence lifter for St Kilda, because go back to round 5 this year, it was the Kangaroos who kicked 6 goals, 2 in the third quarter. St Kilda only kicked 1 goal, 4, merely because Archer pushed forward that day. We wonder whether we'll see that in the second half today.
Byron Pickett with a massive kick into the breeze. Wakeland gets back Darrell to spoil Carey. It comes to ground level for the King. The hand pass away to Brent Harvey. Snap is beautiful. Just into the post. I thought he'd nailed it.
Harvey's been a busy player for the Kangaroos. He's accumulated 15 possessions. That was his first shot on goal, hitting the post.
Third quarter has been St Kilda's Achilles heel since round 12. They've only kicked 21 goals to their opposition's 45. They have started well in this third term. Kicking the first 2 goals of the quarter. McCartney goes to ground, then tries to tap it out. Thompson. It's got a little bit better as the game has gone on. Finally run over the line by Walton. Boundary throw in on centre wing. 69 plays 47, 10-9 to 7-5. Multiple goal kickers for the Kangaroos. 2 to Winston Abraham and 2 to Wayne Carey and 2 to Shannon Motlop, who started on the bench. And for the Saints, 2 to Andrew Thompson and 2 to Gavin Mitchell. So a boundary throw in on centre wing. Taken away that time by Knowles. Gives it across to Everett. Runs to 50. It's off target. Through for a minor score, but some good signs for the Saints in this third term.
It's just imperative. They've got to win this quarter. that's the emphasis that Tim Watson will be saying to their players. Close the gap, give yourselves a chance by three-quarter time.
Well, they've certainly had all the play at the start of this third quarter. Blakey towards centre wing. Hall caught behind, and McCartney a good mark.
Yeah, they certainly have had all the play. It's been 4 entries into their 50-2. Already kicking 2 goals, Drew.
McCartney's kick gets behind the pack. Beautiful pick up by Peter Bell. Near the 50. Centres. Capuano. Yes!
Yeah, he certainly is renowned now of being a player that can push forward. We saw it for the last 4 or 5 years. Corey McKernan's the one that pushes forward usually. Now Capuano is a player who's adding extra dimension to his game by doing that role. He just knows when to run to do it. Matthew Allen of Carlton's another player that comes to mind who does it exceptionally well. Everett over the last couple of years has had he's had that done to opposition teams. Hard to combat.
Capuano's kick is offline, missed to the left. So a miss there by the Kangaroos will help St Kilda's cause. 22 points the margin. Tim Watson in his first season as coach. And Alistair Clarkson there with him, who spent a lot of years with the Kangaroos, might have some inside information for the rookie coach. Young, and the Saints bring it out.
Matthew Young from the half-back flank finds a loose player in McLaren. This is better play by St Kilda quickly in the forward line. It was a one-on-one duel. Mick Martin forces the ball at the back of the pack. Blakey to Stevens. Pumps the ball out wide. There's the champ, Carey.
And Harvey's just having a rest at full forward too, KB. That's the reason why Stevens won that possession across the last line of defence.
Well, he started there at the beginning of this quarter, Mick. So whether they're concerned about him seeing out the game, Carey kicks a high ball. It's one for the Brave. Simpson was there, started the game well. Motlock does well. It was clever play down to Harvey. Chips it out. He's looking for Allison. He's got it. He's on 50. Mooney's on a lead. That's going to be ignored. He's going to pump the ball onto the square. Bell pushing and shoving. He's got it. Great mark by Peter Bell.
That is a magnificent mark from a small player. And when you look at the half-time statistics, it's been the Kangaroos who have taken 15 contested marks as opposed to St Kilda 2. And there's another example. Bell in the contested mark, very strong body, kept his eyes on the footy and won the ball merely because of that particular starting point.
Peter Bell kicks his first goal of the match.
Yeah, what a great player and what a great story it has been of Peter Bell. Ever since he's come to the Kangaroos, he's really grown in stature. I'm really impressed with his work rate. Continues to work up and back, sideways, every which way possible. He just gets to the right spot more often than not. Hence, he just accumulates a lot of the footy already. He's had 23 possessions, 15 and 8 and 1 goal.
Peter Bell, we've had a couple of forward pocket type rovers taking marks and kicking goals. Mitchell and Bell in this quarter. You don't see it all that often. Andrew Thompson's kick smothered, comes to Young. Played a terrific game, Winston Abraham. Back to Bell, out of the midfield. Carey wrestling. Too good. Phenomenal mark by Wayne Carey. And he goes bang, a long kick into the breeze and home with plenty to spare.
Ewley just kicked it low and flat. He had a couple of shots from similarly in the start of the first quarter. But I probably learnt from that experience. He really drilled that footy to cut the breeze. Got back off the mark quickly, pushed Wakeland back on the mark. There was a vacant goal square. He went back, and look at that. Nice and low and flat. Pierced the goals halfway up the goalpost. That is a terrific shot from a player with enormous ability.
Oh, what a gun. 3 goals to Wayne Carey. It was frightening because he didn't quite get onto that kick. North Melbourne, confidence up now. Carey hits the pack hard. Loose ball. They feed it off. Grant to the goal square. Hutchton has to get back. Good defensive play. Forces over the line for a behind. Let's have a look at Carey. He's got a bit of a limp. He's had a bit of a crook back. He was attended to at quarter time. They did a lot of stretching on his back. This is Carey here in the contest there with Barry Hall and Darryl Wakeland. The Saints with the ball. Back to Wakeland. Darryl on 50. The loose player is wide. Taken by Burke. 22 possessions coming up and 5 marks. Burke to centre half forward. Lows the target. Again, too much carry on the ball. Got forced under. There's a chance for Stevens. He's playing in the back pocket on Robert Harvey. Dribbles the ball to the line. Mighty Mech comes in. Could be a free kick to Mitchell. I thought he was taken high. Mitchell does well. Recovers. Half kick smothered. Coming through hard was Capuano. On hands and knees, couldn't quite get the ball away, was Knowles. Still a loose ball. Mighty Mick goes in hard. They'll pile on top. They'll ball it up just 25 metres out from St Kilda's goal.
There's no doubt about the Kangaroos. When the opposition win the footy, they're probably the most impressive in terms of desperation.
Kangaroos by 35 points. Low to do the ruck work. Thompson. It was clever play, and he puts the ball over the line. On the full.
So Grant to take the free. Blakey. And the ball out of bounds. And John Blakey, 294 games.
There was an amazing stat in the paper today, Mick, we were talking about it before, that a bit of research has gone in that Robert Harvey has only been caught holding the ball 3 times for the season. Yeah. And the 3 players have been Burton, Mensch and Michael Braun of the West Coast Eagles. So just 3 players have been able to bring him down when he's had the ball to have a free kick against him for holding it. And he's an amazing stat.
Had it a staggering 438 times. So 1 tackle implied on him every sort of 140 odd possessions. Just an amazing player to keep his ability to evade and also to hold his feet.
Lowe works it to the back. Walton with his head over the ball. Umpire lets it go. Comes to Thompson. And Heatley. Jason Heatley. Well, he's only a metre out, but he's going to be right round near the boundary line.
Very rarely do you see Glenn Archer get pushed off the line of the ball in a marking contest. Heatley did it very well on that occasion. There's no doubt Jason Heatley, he'll increase his angle. He'll run straight to get his balance initially, then he'll move out and snap it across his body.
We'll get a good idea from this view. He's only played half the games this year for 20 goals. And that's handy for the Saints.
Yeah, good work there by Heatley. Good approach towards kicking the goal. Kept himself very balanced. Took probably 5 or 6 paces to walk in and then increase the angle by coming into play. It was terrific thinking work from a player who knows where the goals are. But there's Thompson. He's been quite good, who got the ball forward. There's that little bit of a shove to get Archer out of the contest. Good work, Heatley. A much-needed goal from the Saints.
Heatley on screen, kicks his first goal. And the Saints forward line looks better. They've got 3 goals back in the goal square. Then they've got quite a space to centre half forward. And all of a sudden they can kick the ball and they can run onto the ball. And they are getting the ball quickly into their forward line this 3rd term. King inside the centre square. Kicks the ball long. Carey's going to be the target. He's in front. Can't take a one-hander. Winston Abraham. Clever play. Chips it over to Mooney. He'll run in. He'll hammer it home.
Yeah, magnificent touch there by Winston Abraham. Magnificent skills. Just great ball control. Here's the build-up once again. King, who's had a relatively quiet day, is a penetrating kick. Looked like Carey was going to mark the footy. One hand, just got the left hand away from Darryl Wakeland. But there's that skill of Winston Abraham just to set up that goal for Mooney.
I think Winston's played a sensational game. Kicked a couple himself. And how skillful was that? David King. And once again, it was a long penetrative kick by King, which helped to set it up. Saints come back now. Begley. Taken by Knowles. Harvey. Pushed by Martin. Free kick, Stewie Lowe.
Yeah. once again, you must find front position as a forward. Lowe has done that on a couple of occasions. He's been rewarded because of that. Good decision. Mick tried to disguise it. There's no doubt about it. Demonstrating there with the umpire. But that's typical Mick Martin. He tries to get his opponent underneath the fly to the footy in a legal way. As we see Harvey actually coming from the ground as Lowe looks like kicking for goal.
Lowe gets his second. But it comes at a cost with Robert Harvey, who's won the Brownlow the last 2 years, leaving the ground.
To Mickey Martin there on screen. No doubt he did his best to disguise that shove in the back. If you're just talking to Tim Watson, Tim would be asking him, how you feeling? We need you in the game if you're fit, because we need your run to play now to cover the lines and set up play. And that man on screen could be the player.
2 goals to Stewie Lowe, both goals coming in this third term. He was benched at quarter time. They drag it back to 29 points. Harvey's off the ground. He spent this entire third quarter in the forward pocket. On hands and knees, Knowles tries to slip it out, taken away this time by Pickett, and thumps the ball back. Here's Archer. Been fairly quiet, hasn't had much of the ball. This is just his 4th kick for the game. To the pocket. Here he comes. Carey's got it. Well, he's been great. He's booted 3 goals. Took 7 marks in the first quarter.
Look at the way he worked Wakelin over. He led towards the middle corridor and then back, and Wakelin was, what, 15 metres behind him.
Well, that's his 11th mark. He's had 19 possessions. 7 of those marks came in the opening term. He's going for goal number 4. Wayne Carey nails it.
Dennis Pagan has swung that change. Archer from defence to attack. He did it with success in round 5. As stated earlier, when he did go forward in that third quarter, he was instrumental of getting the the Kangaroos team back close enough to actually give them a chance to win that game, because at half-time St Kilda were well in front. Well, here's Carey. Great shot on goal. As you said, Drew, he worked his opponent. The old figure 8. There's the bench. No doubt they'll be talking to Robert Harvey, asking him about his hamstring injury or his back, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it looks like trouble for Harvey. Meantime, here's Brent Harvey for the Kangaroos. Back to Pickett. Out into open spaces. Knocked up the ground by Young. It sits on its point. Beveridge on the bounce. Back to Young. Very high ball. And with a slight breeze in the third quarter, St Kilda, and the ball's over the boundary line, and we'll have a throw-in. Well, the Saints came back at them, and you thought maybe they can make a contest of this, but the Kangaroos have steadied, and the margin's now 35, so they've actually outscored the Saints by 1 point in this third quarter, and the Kangaroos are into the breeze. So from the throw-in, look at the desperation. Anthony Stevens, but his kick goes to Beveridge. Luke Beveridge, who came back last week for his first game of the season, from centre wing. They've all pushed forward. 36 players in one half of the ground. Thompson to Brown. Zilla, no room. Zilla gets boot to ball. Now a chance. Mitchell. 45 metres from goal. Mitchell. Offline all the way.
No doubt when you're kicking to that end of the grounds, you've got to aim the footy to that right-hand goal post. Going by the wind direction, it is going across from right to left. So it's important to allow for the wind and let the ball come back.
Here he is, King. Kangaroos by 34 points. That was the margin at half-time. Finds Simpson. 14 possessions. Start the game in top form, taken away by Stevens. Carey again's going to be the target. That was well read by Matthew Young, who did well. Gives it across to Hudson, goes short, finds Everett. He's got the run in Ryan. He's been ignored, so he kicks the ball long. Pickett versus Mitchell. To Blakey. Gives it off to Brown. Drills it. Stewie Lowe's in front. Second grab, couldn't take it. Mighty Mick applied the pressure. taken away this time by Walton. Bends it back. He's got it.
Yeah, he's got terrific awareness when shooting for goal as well. And that's his second. Of course, he kicked one in the second quarter with a terrific snapshot. Just a good kick there by Brown to the advantage of Lowe. He'd normally mark those, but Walton was at the right spot to receive that ground level footy. Front and square to that contest. That increases your percentages to win it if it does come to ground. As I said, Walton was in the right spot at the right time and kicked perfectly for goal.
Well, the Saints fans rising to their team, trying to lift them in the remaining 8 minutes of this third quarter. Can they come back at the Kangaroos? Blakey has just been terrific back there today. Comes to Barry Hall. And across the ground he goes. Team plan, no doubt. Tony Brown. Brown just beats the tackler and he's given it up. And that could be very expensive. Grant's got it. Comes to Allison. Allison, 60 metres from goal to the pocket. Archer! No mark. Out of bounds.
And St Kilda run Allen Stone straight out. I dare say straight to Tony Brown. That's a pretty ordinary turnover.
Yeah, he just ran to his right side, Aussie, and he's normally a left footer. When you've got time to run onto your non-dominant side, you've got to be able to use the ball, because if you do create a turnover from that part of the ground, the ball gets rebounded, the opposition can certainly set up in their forward part of the ground.
Robert Harvey being worked on. That sure looks like a back-related hamstring. The kick comes outside the 50. Pickett. 48 metres out. Couldn't drag it back far enough, but just great play. I love watching this bloke play.
Drew, that's just another example of the attitude of the Kangaroos. Just their momentum of their body. They continue to push it through the line of the footy. Byron Pickett never took his eyes off that ball. His head was over the line of the footy. When you do that, that's a terrific principle to have within your team.
That was Pickett's first score for the season. Match Hudson. It all opens up now for the Saints. They need a kind bounce. Beveridge. Simpson closes quickly. Beveridge has got support from Walton. Ignores him. Stands and delivers. Goes short. Puts him under a lot of pressure. McCartney gets into the back of Heatley. Take the free kick.
They're lucky to get out of that, St Kilda. Beveridge should have done a lot better. He had a multitude of players free, but Heatley won the ball through a free kick.
Stewie Lowe, again, forced under the ball. There was too much carry, taken away by Welsh. Heads for the line. Everett can't get there. Toss back in. 96 plays, 67. The Saints won't go away. They trail by 29 points. They trail by 18 points at quarter time and 34 points at the main break. They've dragged it back to 29. Throw in on the half-forward flank. Everett versus Capuano. Everett does well. To Thompson. Zilla shovels the ball out. To Burke. Ever alert. To Young, the runner from half-back. In two minds. Finds McLaren. Too far out to score. The target is going to be low. They need some crummers. Plenty of crumbs coming to ground. Taken away by McCartney. It's a hurried kick. Been marked by Pike, who's just come onto the ground, replacing Brady Anderson. Pike has been missing for a number of weeks. They need him in their best side. Winston Abraham, a rare mistake, a rare fumble. Recovers well. The excitement machine. This time, Darren Wakeland. Too much carry on the ball for Carey.
Shane Wakeland off the ground at the moment. He was the one who started on Carey. Now his twin brother has the job. Brown, hand pass knocked down by Pike. Well done by Marty Pike.
Now, I don't want to dwell on it, boys, but if he wasn't taken off for that last turnover, the one he's just done right now, straight off, you just can't do that.
Yes, poor error. He tried to set up the run for Beveridge. Just didn't give the ball enough elevation to get over the outstretched arms of Martin Pike, who defended well.
Yeah, a few clangers, unfortunately, for Tony Brown today. Oh! Wilson Pickett in the midnight hour, and his opponent is in midnight. And that's Brown, who's had an absolute horror. It comes to Beveridge. Kick by Beveridge. Stewie Lowe right in front.
Yeah, and Lowe certainly does look good when he's in that forward part of the ground. He is playing from basically the goal square, but have a look at this for a bump from Pickett. How many times do you see him do that? And get low first and launch himself into the body of his opponent.
And at this stage, Brown wishes he had been benched.
Yeah, well, basically, if he didn't make that mistake, the ball would have been out of that area. But because of his turnover, the ball was still in the area. Hence the good bump from Pickett.
Stewie Lowe for his third goal of the quarter. And maybe the Saints are still alive.
A little bit happening off the footy there also. Barry Hall's gone straight to Byron Pickett. Obviously to get involved in the physical stakes. Big bad bustling Baz was trying to protect his teammates, flying the flag of course. Brown is actually now coming from the ground. Zilla will replace him. But there is a fair bit of feeling in this contest now. St Kilda know they have to lift and really challenge the opposition.
Saints trail by 23 points. Barry Hall had words to Byron Pickett. He's pumped up. Everett across the centre square. Comes charging in against Capuano, who takes it away. Kicks the ball back. Here he is. Big bad, bustling, bouncing, bruising Barry Hall. He's got it. He's fired up for the Saints. Trying to lift the Saints in this third quarter to Hutchton. Some run out of defence, kicks the ball wide. Heatley out in front has got it, juggles it on centre wing. You feel, Mick, that maybe something's about to happen for St Kilda.
Yeah,
Heatley.
they know their season's hinging on this result. There's no doubt about that, KB. They have to lift.
Here comes Burke. Bowls over Bell. Good enough to get his foot to the ball. Coming in hard was McCartney. Some desperation now in the Saints. Brent Harvey does well, just slips the tackle. They paid advantage, kicks the ball wide to King Carey, rockets the ball. Plenty of run to Simpson on 50. It's a poor kick. Pike stands his ground. Young did well, made it a contest. Ryan, clever play, down to Knowles, around the corner. This will go over the line. Saints alive at Waverley Park.
And they must realise that, have a look at the clock, they must stabilise this situation because they have won a quarter. That's the critical thing. They've won the quarter by 11 points. They really have to man up at these stoppages around the ground, get their body in first to the loose ball at ground level.
Ball contests the boundary throw-in. It's Bills to Darryl Wakeland. Nathan Burke's kick up towards centre wing and out of bounds it goes. Well, you know, in a crunch, he will be at the forefront.
Well, he was magnificent a couple of weeks back against Melbourne, just one of the games they've won. Only won 2 in the past 9. And Nathan Burke against Melbourne played one of the best last quarters you could ever see. He lifted St Kilda that day. Can he do it again today?
Hall caught behind. Capuano to Bell. Not a great hand pass. Welsh. Thompson. Close to the line, and the umpire eventually is going to have to ball it up about half a metre inside the line. Margin 23 points. It had been 34 at half-time and got out a bit more to about 35 as Robert Harvey still is having the lower back worked on, and maybe if they can get him fresh for the last quarter, the Saints can come home hard. David King up to the 50. Pike caught behind.
Free kick. Matthew Young, too high.
Good attack on the footy there by Matthew Young. And here's the change of direction. Certainly a set-up to St Kilda have tried to do and implement all day.
Beveridge, straight up the corridor. Oh, Zilla turned backwards into trouble. You're holding it.
Yeah, just lack of awareness. You've just got to be aware of what's going on around you. You're better off being under pressure. Just get the ball forward. There it was, the quick kick. The ball gets cleared out of the area. Because he didn't, they get tackled. All of a sudden, the ball goes 50 metres the opposite way.
Blakey, he was looking for Carey. Young did well. Gets the ball back to Knowles. Kicks a high ball. Barry Hall has been very good in defence. Starting the forward line. They quickly got him to go down back. Short to Zilla. The Saints.
Abraham's in trouble.
Laying it down to the Kangaroos. Here's Pickett. He's already crunched Tony Brown. Pickett hits the ball hard and takes the free kick.
I think
Winston's just come onto the ground and it looks like he's injured his left leg. Stevens, it's a juggle right on the line. And it's been touched over, so it's a boundary throw in.
He's given it free because he kicked it into the hoardings.
Well, undisciplined play. Might be just the bit of luck that St Kilda needs. Nathan Burke, the centre half forward. Stewie Lowe is inspired. He's kicked 3 goals in this third term after being benched at quarter time. Mitchell was desperate, had the ball kicked out of his hands. McLaren tackles Pickett, has to shovel the ball out to Grant. The roar goes around Waverley Park. St Kilda fans just sensing a bit of spirit coming back into this St Kilda side.
Look, there looks to be a fair amount of run. Here's this injury here, Kev.
He's done the hammy, I reckon, and a terrific effort to hang on to Hall. Otherwise, he was gone.
High ball. Blakey 2 fists away. McLaren's pounced on it. Tries to keep the ball alive. It's over the line.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Drew, with the hammy, just the way he walked off and clutched it very stiffly. I think it's his left hamstring.
Just 59 seconds left in this third term. A goal here could set up the Saints for a thrilling last quarter. Quick snap that time by Walton. He's kicked a goal.
Yeah, we've already mentioned earlier in the game that Walton has got that uncanny ability to know where the goals are. He certainly is a player of talent. Great goal-kicking awareness here. He got to the right side of the pack. He just lost the body of Simpson. Simpson wasn't goal side of his opponent. You must play tight, otherwise your opponent may get loose and kick a goal. In that part of the ground, you've got to control your starting points, push yourself against the body of your opponent. They could be critical in making mistakes in that part of the ground.
The Saints now within 17 points. What a comeback by St Kilda. They've found the same sort of heat, desperation and spirit that they showed in the first 10 minutes of the game. It went out of them for a long period of the game, and now the crowd's starting to rise, maybe sensing that St Kilda can cause an upset. When they played in round 5, the Kangaroos won by 2 points. Thompson out of the middle. Comes to Pickett. Archer on the forward line, started in defence. Hall with him.
Good work.
A couple of pugilists there. Festival Hall gets the ball up the centre wing.
Sorry, Drew, the umpire's paid a push in the back there. That is one of the worst decisions I've ever seen. 30 metres away from me. If you didn't push him in the side, I'll go he.
Gee whiz, that just as St Kilda were going goalwards and maybe heading for a goal before the siren. It's been reversed. Here it is.
Yeah, disgraceful decision. Certainly in the side.
Oh, I disagree with you, Mick. I reckon he had his left hand fair and square in his back.
Yeah, I think it was a line footy, KB. I would have let the footy go.
So Archer took the free kick. Young's got it for St Kilda. They'll run out of time, but they've finished on a high, the Saints. They've got something to yell about. Their team was coming strongly. The umpire robbed them just before the siren, and St Kilda will start the last quarter with something to play for. As Tim Watson, the rookie coach, comes down the steps to address his boys, they trail by 34 at half-time, and the margin's back to 17. And listen to the chants.
Absolutely brilliant. All the supporters getting up. Timmy Watson's even puffed up, pushing the players right over in front of their crowd, right in front of their members. Tim Watson's urging the players over to that part of the ground, no doubt trying to keep the voices up from the support of their followers. But there is a lot of run in the St Kilda people. The players are really working hard. Harvey's not on the ground, which is probably a little bit of a concern. But those group of players lifted to the scenario. They halved the deficit from half-time to three-quarter time to give themselves a chance to win this game. Then a half-back basically playing on Heatley.
Well, the Saints are working into the breeze in this last quarter, but they have momentum from late in the third term. We're underway in the final quarter. Everett wins to Burke. Burke's kicked to centre-half forward. Mitchell caught behind. Oh, Pickett. What a performance. His last 2 seasons, absolutely sensational.
And there's another example, Drew, of backing your instincts. While the ball's in flight, attack the footy and work it out from there.
Burke gets to the front, but Bell's got it for the Kangaroos. Back to Grant. A very high ball to Carey at half forward. Darryl Wakeland lost sight of it, and he'll take a free kick against Carey.
Thompson's on too.
Ball will come back to Wakeland, and Wayne Carey letting us all know what he thought of the decision.
Well, Carey's taken 12 marks. He's booted 4 goals. He's had it 21 times. Francis Spent time on the interchange bench. Pumps the ball long. He's looking for Heatley. Should hit the ball hard. Not paid the free kick. Mick Martin got a fist to it. Here's big bad bustling Barry Hall. Gets it across to Mitchell. Back to Everett. Some spirit came into the St Kilda side in the third term. They booted 7 goals. They look down and out. Chaz now. Young Begley in his first game. Inside 50. Stewie Lowe. Kicked 3 goals in the third term. He was the focal point up forward. Taken away by Bell. North Melbourne. On the charge. Kicks it wide. Burke's going to make ground. He'll keep the ball alive, Nathan Burke. Sizes up the situation. Opens it up to Hutchton, who pumps the ball long. Big Stewie's there. Cross in front is Capuano.
Yeah, should have done better than that, Hutchton. Thompson was free and so was Mitchell. Just a break-up play they could have played on. They decided to bomb it. Capuano got back.
Well, here's Nathan Burke. I reckon he's in for one of those stellar final quarters again. Into Thompson, back to Francis. Francis to Mitchell.
There's no doubt Tim Watson spoke to Tony Francis that three-quarter time break, asking him for a supreme effort. He's got fresh legs, hasn't had much ground time since quarter time, but he is one player that can work hard. He uses the ball pretty well both sides of his body, but Mitchell, you mentioned earlier in that third quarter, KB, he could be a player who could bob up and be a multiple goal kicker. He's kicked 2 from 9 possessions. He is one player that can bob up and kick his 2 or 3 or 4 goals.
Well, he's kicked 30 goals for the season, so this is what he's good at.
Dropped last week, back this week. He's already kicked 2. And he'll kick from only about 30 metres. And misses to the right.
He just tried to steer that one through. You've got to still follow through. That's the pressure of the situation. That's what it all comes down to. Relish the opportunity, go back, take a deep breath. Keep focused on what you do best. On that occasion, he just stabbed at the footy, hence the behind.
Bad miss by Mitchell. That was an important kick just to keep the momentum going. Allison on the burst from half back. Too much carry on the ball. Gee's been good, Barry Hall. Been moved back in defence early in the game. He's been a stumbling block. Burke. His kick's a poor one. Finds Blakey. John Blakey. 294th game today. Capuano got his hands on the ball, couldn't take it. Welsh tried for the crumb. Archer, the strong tackle on Nathan Burke. A ball up on 50.
One player also that could probably be given a pat on the back was Matthew Young. His third quarter, he had 9 possessions, was a stumbling block across half-back for the Kangaroos. Really used the footy fairly well on the way through. He is such an important player to this team.
Kangaroos by 16 points. Welsh fed the ball out, didn't really hit a target. It's desperate in close, tough in the clinches. Stevens all tied up. It's been crunched. Loose ball, Archer. Here's a chance, Carey with strength. Can't get there, hits the post. One behind.
There's just another example. No doubt it'll be a team rule of the Kangaroos to keep the ball alive inside their forward 50. It was Stevens who really tried to get the ball free of the congestion to keep it alive and give a teammate an opportunity to win possession.
The Saints work it down the outer side. Tony Francis, premiership player at Collingwood with our commentator Mickey McGuan, but it's gone straight to the breadbasket of David King, back near centre wing. King, Kangaroos with the breeze in the last term. Inside the 50, Archer the mark. Margin back to the 17 points it was at three-quarter time. A point each in this last term.
Well, there's no doubt Glenn Archer will get the distance. It'll just be a question of accuracy. He's going back. He's backing himself. 1993 Rising Star nominee. He's had a pretty quiet day for his standards, but he is one player that certainly can turn a game of football.
Archer from just outside the 50. Drop punt, will it get on the breeze? No, off the fingertips and through for a behind. 3 straight kicks the difference. The Kangaroos lead the Saints. The Saints have got to get up if they're going to be playing in the finals. And remember, at one stage they won 5 games in a row and were 3rd on the ladder after 10 rounds.
You can see there an agitated Dennis Pagan. Now the ball is coming back.
And the Kangaroos, KB, are now actually going with the man-on-man concept from the St Kilda kick-ins.
Young, short, finds Everett. Big spider, 8 possessions and 4 marks. Between full-back and centre-half-back. Kicks wide, it's a one-on-one contest. Looking for Begley playing his first game. Beaten by Clayton, gives it off to Allison. Tries to set it up short. Capuano. No mark. Thompson. Shovel the ball out to Young. North Melbourne wanted a free kick. Thompson squeezes the ball along the boundary line. Ryan did well, got a fist of the ball, pounced on by Stevens, rockets the ball wide. Blakey stands and delivers, pumps it. Here comes Carey. Strong play by Burke, stood his ground in front. Hudson gives his opponent the slip. Mitchell kicks the ball alive, hands and knees. Desperate stuff now by St Kilda. Beveridge, clever play. McLaren, can he trap the ball? He can't. Boundary throw in. A chance opened up for St Kilda.
And they say football is a game of inches. There's no doubt that's an example of what footy can provide. Good awareness there by Beveridge. King was coming to him fairly quickly. He rapidly closed the space between Beveridge and the contest. The good awareness by Beveridge, trying to give his teammate an advantage.
Thompson, 24 possessions for St Kilda. Mighty Mick takes the free.
Yeah, one front position, very strong body. No doubt Mick Martin will kick this out, this member side wing to the tall contest.
No goals so far in this final quarter. Man in front, the mark to Burke. Oh, umpire. No mark paid. It comes to McLaren. The hand pass away. Walton up towards full forward. Stewie Lowe's got it. Dragged down when he didn't have it. Again, no whistle. The umpire looking into the sun. It's back to Lowe. Ground level ball now. Bell goes backwards. And Martin good enough. Harvey keeps it in, nearly runs into the boundary umpire. Grant back to King, who's kicked it straight out, surely.
Magnificent tackle. Right on the boundary line there from the St Kilda player. Heatley's coming from the ground. There's that kick straight into the ground. Good work there by David King. Got the ball across the boundary line.
Ozzie Jones has come on to the ground replacing Heatley. Ryan had it and lost it, taken away by Pike. Back to Simpson. Goes short. Finds Welsh. He's got the run in Capuano. Sets it up short. Trying to make ground, couldn't get there was Grant. Hutchton. Cool under pressure. On the burst. Gives it to Ozzie Jones, who's just come onto the ground. Electrifying Ozzie Jones. Pumps the ball long. Stewie Lowe. Out in front. Got the bounce he wanted. Dragged to the ground by McCartney. Taken by Mighty Mick. All tied up by Walton. Still a loose ball for St Kilda. Clayton paddles the ball along in front. Comes away from half-back. Pumps the ball out wide and finds Welsh on the rebound. The Kangaroos surge forward. Up to the half-forward line. Wakeling gets a bad bounce. Archer can kick it off the ground. It's bouncy. Through from behind.
Yeah, and young Begley back there in St Kilda's forward pocket just wasn't strong enough to work his body at that ground level ball. Because of that mistake, the Kangaroos went forward, nearly had a chance to kick a goal, a lucky goal, albeit through Archer.
Darryl Wakelin up to Burke. He stumbles, can't keep it in. In the back, he'll take a free kick against Stevens.
And Mick, there's no doubt the Saints are pushing so hard to get back in this game, but with 10 minutes gone, they really need to very quickly start eating into this lead or time's going to beat them.
Oh, Walton's hand pass, shocking for Francis. Taken by King, long to the forward pocket, and it hurries out of bounds. Kangaroos by 19 points. We still haven't had a goal in the last quarter.
Nathan Burke here certainly led from the front. You spoke about his performance a couple of weeks ago against Melbourne, KB. Already today, he's accumulated 31 possessions. He has been an outstanding leader for his club.
Now, a chance for the Kangaroos, and maybe just one goal by the Roos will snuff out any hope the Saints have in this game. Carey, Archer, good smother by Thompson, out of bounds.
Plenty of time for the Saints. 11.5 minutes left in the game. Andrew Thompson on screen. Bit of 2 goals in the second quarter. Mark Dawson and Dennis Pagan chewing the fat in the coach's box. Carey giving instructions. He's booted 4 goals. He's had a magnificent game. Capuano doing the ruck work, all tied up. Burke again. 32 possessions. This time the ball tumbles in the arms of Clayton. Now, he's a good kick, young Clayton.
He certainly is.
He's been a success story for North Melbourne. He's played every game this year. Really struggled to make his mark at Brisbane, but it's been a wonderful pickup. So Clayton from directly in front. He'll kick from 45. Yet to score a goal in this last quarter. He's trying to bend it back. He's hit the post.
Yeah, Nathan Burke certainly getting the ball, but I don't think he'd love the kick that he had out of defence then.
Yeah, he just panicked a little bit, Drew. He had a lot more time than he probably thought. Turned the footy over, but luckily for him and St Kilda, Clayton missed his shot on goal.
Jones, Beveridge in front. Good punch by Grant. Jones follows up, but it falls for Stevens. Stevens bangs it long. Archer in the same direction as the ball. It's punched to the floor. Chance for Welsh. Good tackle. Allison off the left. No. Away to the left. And still they can't manage a goal.
Great desperate lunge by Stewie Lowe.
Yeah, magnificent work. He's pushed back now. He's in the ruck. Everett's gone to full forward. He is also being picked up there by Jason McCartney. So they're just trying to get something out of their big man. Maybe Everett could be the player who could stand tall and take some marks from full forward.
Well, in this last quarter, the Kangaroos have kicked 5 behinds and the Saints 1 behind.
Begley kicks the ball to the edge of the centre square. Mitchell had it and then lost it. Walton goes to ground. He's booted 3 goals today. To the half-forward line. Taken by Mooney. His handball was going nowhere. Hutchton, pot one high, will take the free kick.
Yeah, good decision. There's no doubt about that. The tackle was errant. Free kick certainly was there for Hutchton.
Gives the ball across to Begley. Youngster from Sturt playing his first game. Chance for Thompson. He ran hard, looking for the crumb. Taken by King, but the free kick is coming back. It's going to Thompson. He's a good 75 metres out. Peter Everett says, kick it long to me in the square. He goes short. Finds McLaren. Here's Everett. This is where he wants it. Great grab. Wakeland. Darryl Wakeland, who's been playing on Wayne Carey, has come all the way down from centre-half back. Carey's booted 4 goals on him today. He's had a big game, the King. He's had it 22 times and 12 marks. But Wakeland has marked 15 metres out.
And magnificent work there by Peter Everett off the footy. He just got himself in between his opponent in McCartney and also Darryl Wakeland, who ran hard from the defensive part of the ground to create a marking target. He worked hard, got into the right spot and took a 1-grab mark.
This to get the Saints within 15 points with 9.5 minutes left. An important kick for Darryl Wakeland. He's kicked 1 goal for the year. Wakeland, 15 metres out. It's a shocker.
They maybe got a little bit too close to the man on the mark. Pulled his kick at the last minute. But good work, good creative run from the defensive part of the ground.
So still they can't manage a goal between them. 20 points the margin. Kangaroos led by 18 at quarter time, 34 at half time and 17 at the last change. And Wayne Carey all the way at halfback takes the mark and a bit of a biff to the eye.
Yeah, accidental hit to the eye, no doubt. Wakeland went to spoil the footy. Here it is here. Well, it might have been the elbow of Stuart Lowe, actually, that made contact to the left eye of Wayne Carey.
Well, he had a sore back earlier on, and now he's got blurred vision. But what a game he's played. 13 marks to the King. Up to the centre wing. Comes down to the front to Clayton. He went without it. They're fighting hard for the ball. Actually, both teams are going at it like scalded cats. But for no result, they can't get a goal.
It's been a great contest this last quarter. The pressure's been on. St Kilda keep on coming at Kangaroos. And they just keep holding them at bay. Ball up between half-back and centre wing. The umpire goes to ground. Burke continues to burrow in. Puts it over the line on the full. Shannon Grant. 25 possessions. From on centre wing, pumps the ball back towards the half-forward line. Mooney was the high flyer for the Kangaroos. Punch back over the line.
Tony Brown ready to come back on for the Saints. And interesting, Corey McKernan's still off the ground, but the word from the club doctor was that he was okay. You'd think if he was okay beyond the ground, though.
So Tony Brown has come on for young Begley. Boundary throw in. Hall to do the ruck work. Walton has been handy today with 3 goals taken by Mighty Mick. Stands and delivers. Kicks a high ball. It's one for the Brave. The King got his hands on the ball first. McLaren goes to the ground. Carey, clever play. He was looking for King. 2 against 1. Zilla, desperate in the clinches. Gives the ball back to Wakeland. Does well. Cool under pressure. Finds his mark in Max Hudson. Rockets the ball to Hall. Under pressure. They keep on coming. Walton kicks the ball back. Thompson keeps running hard back to Walton. Goes to ground. They need support. They backtrack. They concede ground. Mooney shrugs the shoulders. Big turnover for the Kangaroos. Allison loose on the half-forward line. Sets it up. Here he's got Carey. It was all set up for the King.
Yeah, once again, KB, that backwards handball, if it doesn't find a teammate and goes to ground and the opposition win the footy, your defensive group is totally exposed and exploited. No doubt Carey will go back, probably from this range, should kick his 5th goal for the day. Terrific effort.
Carey from 25 metres, hammers it home.
There's no doubt St Kilda are trying to generate a lot of run into their play, but sometimes giving the ball to a teammate running onto his non-preferred side, as we see here, was Walton decided to come back onto his right foot, then Thompson to release the ball to his teammate in McLaren. Didn't find its target. Numbers were there for North Melbourne Kangaroos. They picked up that loose ball. Good kick there by Allison to the lead of Carey.
Well, Wayne Carey's now kicked 30 goals in the last 5 rounds. He kicked 10 against Essendon and 9 against Geelong. And will that take the wind out of the Saints' sails? 26 the margin. And only 7 minutes to go. Everett beaten in the middle by Capuano. And the umpire will have a secondary bounce. The crowd here today, 26,261. St Kilda won't play any more home and away games at Waverley. They'll go to the Docklands next year. Colonial Stadium at the foot of the Central Business District. New stadium with the retractable roof for football, the like of which we haven't seen in Australian sport before. Motlop warming up. He's kicked a couple of goals in the first quarter. Ball pumped out. Goes to Burke. He's had a lot of it in the last quarter. Lowe. Stewie Lowe kicked 3 in the 3rd quarter. Would love to nail this. Get it back to the centre. Do it again, but they still need more than 4 goals to win.
Yeah, terrific kick there by Nathan Burke. Stuart Lowe on the burst, on the lead. Very good hands to mark the footy cleanly out in front of his eyes. Been a pretty good effort since half-time from Stuart Lowe. 3 goals in that 3rd quarter. Hopefully he can kick his 4th for the Saints.
In front, 42 metres out, away to the right. Disappointing for the Saints. Robert Harvey and Shane Wakeland look on for a team that was going so well at the halfway mark of the season. It's all come unstuck for the Saints.
And they've wasted some opportunities from set shots. Mitchell missed one. Lowe's missed one. Darryl Wakeland missed one in this last quarter. All very kickable scores for St Kilda. So they've had the opportunities. Burke has been magnificent today. Thumps it back over the line. 82 plays 107. 15-17 to 12-10. Boundary throw-in on centre wing. Spider against Capuano. Thompson has battled hard. Started slowly, but has really revved up in the last 3 quarters. 27 possessions now to Andrew Thompson. Time clock ticking away. 5 minutes left in the game. They trail by 25 points. Archer. The whistle is gone, so free kick to St Kilda.
Yeah, Nathan Burke holds the man against Stevens.
This is possession number 35 for the skipper. Players now pushing back. It's very crowded across the half-forward line. Stewie Lowe's going to be the target. He's in front. Bounces off the chest, but he's got the free kick.
Gee, the Frees are going the Saints' way, aren't they?
Quick goal will give St Kilda hope. Stewie Lowe indicates he wants to bang the ball long. Blakey, the high flyer. They need a crummer. McLaren, it's going to bounce through.
Yeah, clever kick there by McLaren. Just over 4 minutes of play remaining. They certainly needed that goal to give themselves a chance to still win this game. There's Blake. He probably should have punched to clear the area. Just got underneath the flight of the footy. McLaren was at the back of that pack and dribbled that ball through in smart play. He kicked his second for the day.
Tim Watson, Alistair Clarkson. 19 points the margin, 4 1/4 minutes to go. Thompson. Kick towards the 50, punched up by Blakey. Taken by Bell, great vision. Stevens across the ground. Allison leaves his man but left the ball behind. Zilla the hand pass, Beveridge to Burke. Another possession for the St Kilda skipper. Kick by Burke, deep inside half forward. It's up for grabs. Lowe clears a path. Chance for McLaren, paced by Jones.
Oh, it's out. It's out.
Took the ball over the line, and the boundary umpire in a good position to see it.
Just a lack of talk, I reckon, with McLaren and also Aussie Jones then. They were both desperate, but maybe a bit of early talk. They might have been able to keep that ball in play. Still a chance for the Saints. Just under 4 minutes left. Important boundary throw in. Beveridge weaves his way out of trouble. Gives it back to Thompson. It's a high ball. Stewie Lowe's going to set himself in the square. Got the big bucket hands on. Couldn't hang on to it as Pickett just belts the ball out of trouble. It's a mammoth kick. Goes out towards the centre wing. Falling on top. Taken away by Hall. Young. Ryan will do the shepherding. Clean hands required. He does well. Keeps the ball alive. Beveridge under pressure. Young squeezed up on the boundary line. Goes wide. Finds McLaren. Point of the centre square. Kicks long. They need a grab. Stewie Lowe in front. Big pack of players. Big fist away. They look for the loose ball over the top. Good defensive play by Blakey. Boundary throw in.
Well, the Kangaroos, who at one stage during the year won 10 games in a row, marching towards the finals and looking for a definite top 4 spot and a home final in week 1. The ball rushed through for a minor score here to the Saints. Martin Pike back this week. Corey McKernan, uninjured apparently, sitting on the bench. Shannon Motlop in the foreground in just his second game. You'll remember it though, 2 first-quarter goals, and it'll be a Kangaroos win. David King goes towards the outer side, and Peter Bell.
Yeah, and he's had a terrific game also. This is his 35th possession. 21 kicks, 14 handballs.
Come on, KB, how about All-Australian for Peter Bell?
I'm just one of the selectors. Archer from centre wing.
Yes, certainly, wouldn't he?
To Stevens. Well, you'll have to wait till the night comes, Drew. You'll have to be there when it's announced. Stevens, short, looking for Mooney. Went through his hands. Gee, what a game Nathan Burke has played. It's been magnificent. 37 possessions. He's the spirit of St Kilda. The race is on. Ryan. Welsh slides into the ball. Tries to keep it alive. Ryan on hands and knees. Desperate play. Boundary throw in. Time clock ticking away. 2 minutes left in the game. North Melbourne by 18 points. They led by 17 points at the last change. Archer was a clever kick in mid-air. Puts it out on the full.
KB, just one interesting statistic, just to compare the two halves of footy. St Kilda had 57 handballs in their first half as opposed to the Kangaroos 73. But in the second half, St Kilda have had 55, much the same. But the Kangaroos have dropped away to 30.
Well, a sloppy kick that time. Sees the ball out on the full. So Harvey, you would think he'll pump this long. Carey is lurking. He's booted 5 goals, won the king. Carey nearly on the second grab. Archer, quick snap. It's a behind.
I reckon Archer's kicked 4 behinds in the last quarter.
Yeah, he certainly has. That is his 4th behind. It just gives him that extra dimension. A great player, can play back, can go forward. Just an impact player.
Minute and a half to go. Matthew Young runs it out. Oh, set Thompson a task. There's Kangaroos everywhere here. Stevens firstly had Harvey. Now he's got Burke. Kick by Anthony Stevens to the top of the goal square. That's the way to go home. Ball knocked out by Hodgson to Hall. Festival Hall goes back to Young. Outside the 50, Zilla. Up towards centre wing, Mitchell. Comes very wide. Thompson's got plenty of space. Beveridge leaves his man. And Beveridge inside the 50. Oh, shocking. Luke Beveridge, good heavens. And that must make a coach go bald.
Yeah, decision-making process at times for St Kilda today have cost them dearly. And there's another example of that.
Mooney looks a promising player. Just outside of 50, chips it. Finds Archer. He's booted 4 behinds in this last quarter. He's found the loose player. Great vision. Stevens has got it. 25 metres out directly in front.
Guess who's feeling this the worst? Beveridge.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Stevens has been a tireless player once again. He was playing on Harvey initially. Harvey, when he was removed from the ground, he'd had 16 possessions. Stevens had had 15. Stevens has basically played on Nathan Burke since that period. Stevens, what a great player he's been for a long period of time for the Kangaroos.
Kicked the goal in the second quarter. Anthony Stevens directly in front as the siren sounds. The last kick of the game. He's kicked a goal.
Well, pretty handy win for the Kangaroos, and St Kilda's season is in the balance. They finish against Carlton and the West Coast. You wouldn't reckon they could win both those, so the Saints are probably heading out of the finals.